Hello everyone and welcome back to the vlog. Today's not actually a vlog. Today is a Q&A video from my time in Southeast Asia. It's been a long time coming, let's just say that. I got home from my travels from Asia about a year ago. If you guys don't know, I went to Southeast Asia. I went to Indonesia, the Philippines and Thailand solo at 19 years old last year for like 3 months. I had the best 3 months of my entire life. And I vlogged the whole thing. That's where most of my audience is from watching my backpacking vlogs. Got a whole playlist for it. And I also went back to Bali this year and did another like 3-week solo travel of Bali this year. So if you guys are going traveling, make sure to check out my other videos of me traveling to see what I got up to. But I have had so many lovely messages from people the past year asking me all these questions about backpacking, and I always knew I was gonna make a Q&A video. Today's the day. I also just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has messaged me. Everyone is so fucking sweet, and if you do have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, feel free to message me on Instagram. I like pretty much answer most of my DMs when I get to them. But yeah, I really appreciate the love, so thank you so much for that. But yeah, let's get started. So one question I had a lot was, how did you decide where to go? This was something that was kind of like easy for me to decide, at least for like which countries, because I have traveled a lot of Asia with my family and stuff. So I did kind of know which places I loved and which places I didn't feel like I had to go to. So I'd been to the Philippines before. I loved it, knew I wanted to go back. Same with Bali and same with Thailand. I've been to Cambodia. It wasn't really something that I was like, oh, I need to go back there. I've never been to Laos, but I wasn't like dying to go to Laos. I do a little bit regret not going to Vietnam, but that's a plan for next year, as a Vietnam trip. I would say if I were to do this trip again, I would do Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Bali. It just depends how much time you have. A lot of people say Malaysia's not that great as well. I also wasn't a big fan of Malaysia when I went with my family. So it all just kind of depends like what you're into, how much time you have, what your budget is. I also have a thing, it's like it's okay to not see everything because then you have something to come back to, and that's why I'm going back to Asia probably soon. And I have more stuff to see. So yeah. As for like the destinations I went to, that was actually mostly from like travel vlogs. So I had a very vague idea of everywhere that I wanted to go, like written in my notes app, from watching travel vlogs, going on Instagram, going on TikTok, seeing where everyone else was going. I think it's good to have like a vague kind of idea of where you want to go, just so that you're not completely lost. Another way that you find out where to go is that like just speaking to people in hostels. Everyone is so friendly and everyone's like, oh, where have you been? Like the most classic traveler talk is like, where are you from? Where have you been? How long have you been traveling? And you get so much good traveling advice from doing that, like just talking to people in your hostel. So that's kind of how I found out where I wanted to go. Social media and just talking to people, and like Instagram and all that stuff. Another one is, how far in advance did you book? This is kind of related to the last one. I had a lot of my international flights booked in advance. Next time I probably wouldn't do that. I would say have your flight out there, have your first few nights of accommodation booked, and then that's it. And then just go with the flow. I was so happy I didn't have anything booked. Like my first week in Bali, I ended up going to Australia because like, I mean, I had nothing planned, so like I got the option to go to Australia, so obviously I was gonna go to Australia. And like in Thailand as well, I woke up that day and I was like, where do I feel like going today? So yeah, that's the best part about Asia, is you can book everything on the day or like 1 or 2 days in advance. And that's what I would recommend to do, because you never know who you're gonna meet, what you're feeling like, if you hate a place, if you love a place. So yeah, don't book anything far in advance. Another question is, how much did you spend? Now, I had a decent amount of money saved up. Let me tell you exactly. So I had 60,000 Danish kroner. Oh, my cake. One sec, I need to check on my cake. She's not fully done. We'll give her like 7 more minutes. Yeah, so I had about 60,000 kroners saved up, which is about 7,000 pounds, British pounds. And that was definitely like more than enough for 3 months. This is without like all my prior purchases. Like this is without my flight there and flight home, and without my backpack and all that stuff. this is how much money I like left with in my account. I actually don't really know how much I spent. Like, I definitely spent a lot more than the normal person does, but that's also because like I wasn't staying in a hostel every night. I was flying. In the Philippines, I spent a lot of money on domestic flights. I was kind of choosing the more like luxury backpacking kind of vibe, and although I was really good with my money, like I saved in a lot of places, I definitely could have done it cheaper. But my recommendation is save up as much as you can. It really depends how long you're going for. I would say without flights, you spend about £1,000, 1,100 British pounds a month, and that's like more than enough for a month. Yeah, I'll put on the screen here like about how much hostels are, about how much food is, like all that stuff, and then you can kind of calculate it from there. But really just save up as much as possible. I think in total I spent about 45,000 kroners, which is like 5.2k British pounds. So like it's a lot of money, but no regrets at all. Best money I have ever spent in my life. So yeah. Another question I got a lot is about safety. I don't know how, but I felt so safe my whole entire trip. Honestly, Southeast Asia is a really safe place. Obviously, use like normal precaution. Don't go anywhere like when it's super dark at night. Don't get in like a stranger's car. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just be smart and you'll be fine. Also, I feel like I look really bald. I'm not used to having like my hair like this in videos, but maybe I do look really bald, whatever. Just practice normal safety. As for like stealing and stuff, a lot of people ask me if I brought like my laptop and everything. I brought my laptop with me. Keep it in your hostel locker, lock it away, and no one is gonna steal it. Like, don't just leave your laptop out on your hostel bed, you know? But during my whole time away, I didn't get anything stolen. I think maybe someone stole my bikini from the hostel. Maybe I lost it, like who knows, you know what I mean? Like no one stole anything. I wouldn't worry too much. Just make sure you always have your belongings on you. Don't be stupid and you'll be fine. Also, a lot of people ask me how much time, like how long you should go traveling for. And honestly, this is such a hard question to answer. So a lot of people, when they go traveling, they miss home and they have days where they want to go home, and I literally did not have that once. I didn't miss home at all. I was living my best life. Like, I actually don't, like, I got really lucky with my trip. I never like got sad. I never really wanted to go home. I would definitely say after the 3 months I was like, okay, I'm ready to like feel really clean and make my own food and that kind of thing. And like I miss my clothes and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. I would say the max I would be able to go traveling for is probably, I'd say like 4 months. Also because after a while you kind of lose, it kind of loses its spark. And I definitely met a lot of long-term travelers that just like weren't living their best lives because it had kind of just like become an everyday thing for them, and they were just kind of like, you know, used to doing all this stuff all the time. So I would say anywhere between 2 and 5 months, I would say is a good amount of time. And just remember, like, you're never gonna see everything. You'll never be able to see everything. And I think that's what like is kind of stressful sometimes, is that you want to see everywhere, but that's just like not possible. So yeah, currently just going through my Instagram DMs to see what people have asked me. A lot of people ask me for hostel recommendations. I have a whole video on every hostel I've stayed at, so watch that because I definitely talk about like which hostels to go to. Sorry if the camera angle just changed. My camera ran out of storage. But another question I have gotten asked so much is, how do you deal with being solo? Do you get lonely? Like, people are just very nervous. Oh, my camera battery is flashing. Let me just quickly wrap this up. But I didn't feel lonely at all. I made friends pretty much instantly. I obviously had like a few weeks here and there where I didn't make as good friends, and that's completely fine. Like, you're not gonna meet your fucking soulmate everywhere you go. It's so easy to meet people. I made so many friends in hostels, on nights out. I made friends at a restaurant. Like, everyone is just so friendly and so social when traveling, and it's just so easy to meet people, and you'll just meet like the best people ever. And it may seem really daunting to go solo. It was my first time solo traveling as well, but it taught me so much about myself, and I just think everyone should do it at least once in their lives. Yeah, but that's all the questions we have time for today. So If there's any kind of more specific questions you have, feel free to DM me on Instagram. If I get a lot of questions, I will do a part 2 because there's definitely a lot more questions that I haven't answered. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for all the support. Oh, no. Maybe, I don't know. Thank you so much for all your, no. Turn off. There we go. Thank you so much for all your support on all my videos. I love you guys so much. Yeah, and let me know if you want like a Australia Q&A because I can definitely do that as well. But yeah,